Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of the world's biggest stars and some of my favourite people, and we've got one for you today. Michael Ball, nice to talk to you again.
Oh, nice to talk to you, Alex. Always is.
Do you know, I was looking at my little black book, and we first did an interview in 2000, and we've done them, 5 or 6 hour specials for the BBC, and you come back with this brand new album, and I have to ask you one honest question.
Yeah.
What is it with the facial hair, Michael?
We're not liking it? I'm rocking a beard.
No, well, let me tell you, the current Mrs. Belfield reckons that it chafes on the inner thigh.
I've had that complaint. Here's the thing. You hit an age, you'll find this out. You hit an age, it covers a multitude of sins.
Right.
But no, I'm bang on trend.
I know.
Everyone is wearing a beard, and it won't be forever. I don't know how long it'll be, but I quite like the look.
I get it, and it suits you, but the thing is, I've just lost a bit of weight, and I've got this gobble neck at the minute. I look like a turkey, and I'm thinking, would a beard actually cover it, or is it just polishing a turd? I'm not sure which, to be honest.
Well, in your case,
now,
it would be ideal. I think it'd be bang on trend. It hides a double chin beautifully. Whether it'll hide gobbleneck, I don't know, because I've never lost enough weight to actually have it. I
want to talk to you honestly about this new album, because I was sent it last week, and I really think it's tremendous. The last time we spoke face to face was at Hairspray, and there you were sat opposite me with boobs and a frock, and now you're back doing proper Michael Ball. And I said in my review of this, what I love about you is you mix new and old effortlessly, and it doesn't sound crap and cheesy. Congratulations on that.
Oh, what a lovely thing to say. Thank you. I would say this, wouldn't I? But I am probably as proud of this album as anything I've ever done. It's the most hands-on I've been with the experience. Because it's the 19th studio album I've done, so I understand the process of making it, of producing, and of the sound that I want. I loved the experimentation with me doing the block harmonies on some of the songs myself and working out the vocal lines for that. And I'm really pleased with the way it's turned out. It's the one that's had the least input, I think, from in a good way from other people. Other than, people do suggest songs and songs sort of appear, but no one has said we really need you to record that song, or can you do this song in that way. This has been a labour of love and very personal.
And again, it's so authentic and it's so Michael Ball. I love the fact we get to hear your voice. You're not hiding behind huge processing on this. In fact, some of the tracks are really raw, aren't they? As natural as if you started singing now.
Yeah. Some of them are just one take. If it works, we don't fix it. It's one take straight through. And we haven't done massive orchestrations, and as you say, hidden everything. It's just an honest representation of what I do and what I love to do, which is sing good songs. I'm
not being disingenuous when I say I'm a huge fan. I've loved you for many years, and the reason why is you know your audience and you stick by them and you play to your strengths. It's interesting since we first spoke how your career has changed. You were Michael Ball, aspects of love changes everything. Now you're Michael Ball off the radio, you're Michael Ball off the TV. It's amazing how your career has gone so mainstream. You've made it even more cool to be a musical theatre star, which is incredible.
Well, I think musicals are cool again, actually. Musical theatre goes through waves. It goes through being this sort of cheesy, naff art form into something that actually can be actually quite cutting edge and challenging and important for an audience. And I think we're going through that. New stuff, the way old stuff is revisited and reevaluated, keeps the genre current. It's a hard job, musical theatre, both physically doing the 8 shows a week, but also finding a way of presenting shows that make audiences pay their money to come and sit in the audience. It's expensive to do it. It's the same with putting together a concert, a live show. You want to be able to give an audience what they want, what they expect, but also find a way of presenting new stuff that they're going to be equally as excited about, and means that they'll come to the next show.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, on this new album, one of my favourite songs ever is Jessie. And again, you just do it so pure and natural. And you've always done that. I remember seeing you once in Nottingham, and halfway through, you stuck in a Girls Aloud track, I think it was. And it was just, again, so brilliant because it worked. I don't know how, but it did.
Well, you know what? Good songs are good songs. If you can make them work, if you could put a twist on them, be that make it funny, be it tongue-in-cheek, or actually so that people hear the lyrics that they've never actually listened to before, because that does quite often happen. You know, there's a song that you think you know, but until you hear it done in a different way, you realise, I've never really listened to the lyrics of that. Falling Slowly was one of those for me. Falling Slowly is from the musical Once, you know, won the Oscar, and it's now in the show in the West End. And it's always been done as a duet, and you kind of lose the lyric with that. You're listening to the beauty of the harmony and of the two voices, but when you actually listen to the lyric, the way I've tried to do it is as a solo, with me doing the high harmonies myself. I think you can engage with the lyric better.
Yeah. And we should say the new album is called If Everyone Was Listening. Angel on track 14 is one of my favourites because it's just so beautiful, and you can't really beat the original, so you've got to do your own thing with it, haven't you?
Yeah. What's interesting about that song, again, one of the reasons why I wanted to do it, people think they know what it's about, and that it's kind of it's got a sad feel, but it's quite spiritual and uplifting. The story behind it is really quite dark. It was written about the guy who was in the Smashing Pumpkins, who had a heroin problem, and he died of an overdose in a motel. And Angel is the metaphor for him losing consciousness, of taking heroin, basically. And that's the power of music. You find a really good way of telling a story, colouring it in certain ways. So you know what it means to you, but it can mean something else to other people in different circumstances. That's powerful music.
And the title, I mean, If Everyone Was Listening, you're on the UK's #1 radio station, Radio 2. I mean, did you ever think you'd be the fill-in for Ken Bruce? What an astonishing achievement.
I still can't believe it because I've made the point. I learned to run the desk. I drive the desk myself, which quite a few people actually don't do.
Right.
And so when it comes to 9:30 and Chris Evans hands over to me, and I realise I've got 2.5 hours of nothing planned other than Popmaster.
Yeah.
It's just what's going to come in, what's going to strike your imagination, what music are you going to play, how's it going to affect you. I love it. I love radio. So you must feel the same.
Yeah.
It's the most intimate way of communicating with an audience. Of all the things I do, just being yourself, just talking, having a conversation, introducing music that you really like, response from the listener to what you're saying, the experiences in their life, why music has affected them and what it does. I just love it. And it's a real honour, I think, to be invited into someone's home to talk to them like that, because that's when people listen, when they're in their homes, when they're in their cars, when they're at their most relaxed and personal. And
it's also a responsibility, isn't it? Because one slip of the tongue and 5 million people are going to hear it.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And if you don't get to the news on time,
good luck with that.
You're going to be in trouble. Yeah, you're in trouble with that. That is the hardest thing for me, is making sure that I don't use bad language, because I've been known to occasionally, and it's having that switch in your head saying, so that if something goes wrong, you don't do your usual response that you would in real life.
And that's the problem, is it? Because you're an ad-libber. It's the ad-libs that get you into trouble, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and they have done. I think my favourite one, when God rest his soul, I loved the man, David Jacobs. When I was doing the Sunday brunch show, and he would be on at 11 o'clock, and we were coming up to the news, and they said, you've got to fill for about a minute and a half. So just say what's coming up on Radio 2. Just say what's coming up later. So I said, got Elaine Page coming up after me, but don't forget, at 11 o'clock, we've got the incomparable David Jacobs. Oh, I love listening to his show. There's nothing I enjoy more than lying back in the bath and letting David relax me off. And as I said it, I went, oh dear God. everyone in the control room dived behind the desk, wetted. This is live.
Yeah.
I couldn't speak. I couldn't press a button. It was me laughing. Oh, it was awful. David, God bless him. Oh. Then that night in his show, he said, well, I'm enjoying relaxing Michael off in the bath. And it's why I instituted the Sunday soak in my show, is in memory of David Jacobs. That was always what it was, the Sunday soak, the picture of me relaxing someone off in the bath.
But, I mean, Radio 2 does get away with it. I mean, you follow Paul O'Grady. His final thing is the happy ending. I mean, how did that get past the regulators?
Because we are masters of the double entendre.
I think so. Although my last boss, she said if I have any double entendre in the programme, I've got to whip it out. So I did.
I'm going to use that.
Yeah, you must. It's also extraordinary, isn't it, that if you did a month of shows in the West End, it wouldn't equal 1.5 hours ratings on your radio show. It's strange, that.
Yeah, when you have and so many diverse areas of life, people listening,
Yeah.
Every part of the country, every colour, creed, age, job description, you name it. It's a really powerful and lovely thing, radio.
I always think you've got it absolutely right. You don't get involved with the nonsense. We don't see you falling out of clubs. You don't do PR for the sake of it. You've got a talent, so you'll always be able to perform, whether you do it in a big, huge theatre or whether you do it in a working men's club. You're always going to earn money. And you're riding high, and you have done for 30 years. It's extraordinary, isn't it, that your trajectory of success continues just to get bigger and bigger and bigger?
It's a lot of it is luck.
I don't think so. I really don't, Michael. I really don't think it is, honestly.
Well, I suppose you do make your own luck to a certain extent. I think you get a reputation as someone who will work hard, who will try and do the job that is asked of them, and will do the research, do the work, do the preparation, and try and be consistent. The bottom line is I have real respect for an audience.
Right.
I know I'm only doing this because people are bothered. And I continue to make records because people bought the last ones.
Yeah.
People will come to a show because they came to the last ones, and you hope they're going to come again. I've never taken it for granted. I like having my own life, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That I have a real life, and I share some of that, but not all of it. And I'm fairly private, but not sort of weird about it.
Yes.
There's no such thing as a normal person, but I think a lot of people can relate to me and what I do.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the success is, and if I did, I wouldn't tell anyone.
Right. Don't analyse it.
I'm not going to. Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to hope that people will still be bothered in the next 30 years.
Very finally, could anything make you nervous now? It seems like you've mastered live TV, live radio, live theatre. If you can do all of those three things well and keep getting rebooked for them, you're not doing bad. Do you have any nerves now? Is there any...
Yeah, absolutely. Every new project, is something... I'm nervous with the release of an album. When a new show is put together.
Yeah.
Before going live... with the Ken Bruce thing, going live to that sort of an audience, always will have a tingle, and always it's controlling it. It's recognizing what it is and making it a force for good, as opposed to a force for destroying yourself, and being able to control it. I would hope everyone felt that a bit. I think the more you do something, the more used to it you are, the less nervous you become. But and you find nerves hit at the oddest times. I could be singing for a group of 30 people and be terrified because it's so small and intimate and you're so exposed. You go out onto a stage, onto a live telly, and I've got no nerves sometimes for that. You never know. You never know when they're going to hit and be destructive either.
Are you currently shaking right now with nerves speaking to me?
Terrified, mate.
I know. I have this effect on normally women, not normally men, but...
Do you get nervous doing anything?
Yeah, again, it's the small ones. The big ones are fine. It's when you can see them. That always terrifies me. And some guests, if you've got... I did Marco Pierre White last week. You see, with you, I know you're going to get it. When it's somebody like Marco I've never done before, you know he will tell you to F off if you make a fool of yourself. And you don't really want that when you're either live or you're trying to make a good show of yourself. It's those moments that you're not quite sure, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know as well as I do, the secret to it all is preparation.
Right.
You know, if you've done your research, if you've done your rehearsals, if you know what's expected of you, then you can go in with a certain amount of confidence.
And mine's sycophancy as well. Tell the guests they're a genius, you're off to a good start.
And also that they're very complex. People love that.
Yeah.
You're a very complicated person, aren't you?
You're very deep. Anyway, I'm going to go now because I've got an image of you in the bath. And with that beard, it's somewhat put me off. Get rid of that, mate. Honestly, seriously, Michael, come on.
No, I'm loving it. I'm loving my beard.
I told Russell Watson the same the other week. He needs to get a shot of his as well. It's peculiar.
Got one?
Yeah, he's got this hairy fairy thing on the front of his mouth. It's strange.
Oh, you're just jealous because yours is ginger.
I know. I've got many things to be jealous of. That's not one of them. Hey, Michael, congratulations on this new album. Seriously, it's a 5-star album. I think for me, it's probably the best you've ever done. It makes you sound as good as you can possibly sound, doing songs that are so original and unexpected. That's what I love is when I listen in the car where I listen to all of my CDs, it's do I press next? And I didn't. I'm so proud of the fact you embrace your audience and you don't try and be a smart ass and do stuff that people don't want. You play to your strengths, and that's commendable, seriously.
I really appreciate that. I genuinely do. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can I use that as a quote?
You can have it. It's yours. The brand new album by Michael Ball is If Everyone Was Listening, and they are. The new tour, of course, will be on stage next year. The album's out now. You can get it via Amazon. Great to talk to you, Michael.
You too, mate. God bless.